One of the most significant casualties of the global pandemic that we're only starting to come out of was that of the wide-body aircraft equipped with 4 engines, such as the Airbus A380 and or the Boeing 747. Did you know I have a second channel, DJ's Transport, covering the rail industry while also taking a look at some aviation analysis? Do be sure to subscribe, as your support over there would be very much appreciated. The Airbus A380 and the Boeing 747 are two iconic jets in their own way, and while some enthusiasts may have their preferences, they're generally two aircraft that would and are sorely missed, as airlines have made the tough but necessary call to pull them from service and move towards more efficient options in the long run, typically being your twin-engined 787s, 777s, and of course Airbus A350s. However, one thing that airlines can also be encouraged by is an increased demand that is being seen widely across the world, with some areas being exempt from this due to restrictions still being imposed, although it's certainly fewer countries than, say, a year and a half ago. With increased demand, only a handful of aircraft can therefore be able to capitalize and make, say, increasing seat capacity worth the airline's while. And for Lufthansa, that said aircraft is potentially the Airbus A380. The airlines confirmed numerous times over the recent years that the Airbus A380 was no longer a requirement for their future operations, following a decision to pull the type some years back during the height of the pandemic. A decision that you could definitely argue was made correctly. However, and this is a massive however, as close as March and April, the chief executive was still continuing to comment that he didn't believe the Airbus A380 would be returning with Lufthansa. They would seek alternative options. Now, he actually isn't opposed to doing such a thing, following comments made at the IATA AGM, the annual general meeting, where executives, journalists, and more congregate to talk aviation, which has now concluded. Lufthansa flew a modest total of 14 Airbus A380s right before the global pandemic arrived, slicing that almost in half, leaving really only a handful remaining before they made the final firm decision to get rid of all remaining aircraft thanks to the continued lack of demand and what they were forecasting for a very slow recovery. Now, that's all changing, and thanks to a report from aero.de, the airline will be making a decision next month, in July, on whether or not the carrier will see some Airbus A380s reactivated to operate once again within its operations to help cope with the added demand they are seeing across the board. The amount of units that could return is subject to change, and at this point, it would likely either be half or all 8. However, interestingly enough, in the very same report, it's actually noted that the Airbus A380 is not the only option to help cope with the demand, with the possibility of the airline welcoming in some white-tailed Boeing 777-300ER aircraft. Now, what are white-tails exactly? Without keeping you too much longer in this video and giving you the very simple explanation, a white-tail is an aircraft that has been built and is yet to be sold, or potentially has been taken from a lease and has no designated location where it will be headed. Lufthansa will now be heading to the drawing board and or discussion table with executives to make the all-important decision to determine the next step in the business to help cope with this added demand I've been talking about. What do you think would be best for the airline moving forward? Seeing the Airbus A380s return or the Boeing 777 whitetails arrive? Do let me know down below in the comments. They definitely both have their positives, but I think many would be inclined to pick the return of the world's largest passenger plane so we can enjoy it a few more years at the very least before it will eventually depart for good. Thanks once again for watching. Like I said, do be sure to check out the second channel and subscribe here if you are new as well. Take care, do be safe, and I will see you next time.